Good morning. I'm Pastor Tully here with my Wednesday morning message. Today is a week before Lent starts. It's a week before Ash Wednesday. I know I've been doing this leadership series, and I promise I'll get back to that really soon. But I wanted to do a video today helping us to prepare for Lent and get ready for this season that comes before Easter. Lent is a time when many Christians, particularly those in the Roman Catholic Church, many Christians give up something for Lent. They sacrifice something. This is a spiritual practice that I've done almost every year for more than half of my life. And it's one that's been really meaningful to me, doing it each time. I'm almost always really faithful and dedicated to it, and really strict about doing it. I very rarely break my Lent, so to speak. I've given up things like television, video games. One year I gave up eating dairy. I've done a lot of food ones, like giving up eating sweets, giving up eating corn syrup. One year I went gluten-free. My coworker joked with me that what I really gave up was being nice to waiters and waitresses, because every time we'd go out to eat, which was about once a week, I would have to ask the server all these questions about what was in the dish and what wasn't in the dish. And it kind of became this running joke among the staff. One year I gave up meat. That was a year I was in seminary. That one was really tough. At least once a week in the cafeteria, I ate all my meals on campus. At least once a week we would have fried squash. And I would tell myself that they were chicken nuggets. And I would slather them in barbecue or honey mustard sauce. At the end of Lent that year, I went to Fat Matt's Rib Shack with a group of friends, and I ate a whole rack of ribs and a pork sandwich all by myself. My friends that I went with, they thought that I was going to share the rack of ribs with them, and I was like, no. One year I gave up soda. This was one that had a really interesting, long-lasting impact on my life. That was a year I was in college. My roommate gave up soda as well. It was anything you could drink other than water. So soda, coffee, tea, juice, nothing. We weren't going to drink anything except water. There were 4 of us doing the Lent that year. A funny story, one night they had smoothies in the cafeteria, and that was Jean's favorite night, was smoothie night. So we put the smoothies in a bowl and we ate them with a spoon. We thought if we weren't drinking it through a straw, then it wasn't a drink. It was a meal or a dish. Pretended it was some sort of melted sorbet ice cream. And this one, it had a long-lasting impact on my life, because afterwards I never really started drinking soda again. 20 years later, I'll drink maybe 4 or 5 sodas a year. And it was all because of that one Lent. One year I gave up driving. This was the Lent that had the biggest impact on my life, sort of my daily life. So I rode my bike everywhere, or I took public transportation, or I had to get a ride from somebody. And this gave me a really unique insight into people who don't have their own cars and don't have reliable transportation. I remember this one time I was riding my bike and I passed these people who were playing the lottery. And it was about maybe 5 or 6 seconds that I was within earshot of them riding by, so I could hear their conversation. They looked like they were down on their luck, maybe hadn't had a shower in a while, they had a lot of stuff with them, maybe they were homeless, I don't know. But they were putting so much hope into this lottery ticket, and it really gave me an interesting insight into the way poor people live when they don't have control over their lives. They put a lot of hope into things like lottery tickets. Now, 2020, last year, I gave up for Lent going to restaurants, going on airplanes, going outside my neighborhood, just in general being around people. And it feels like I'm still giving that up. I think we all kind of gave that up last year. And so 2021, it feels really hard to kind of stomach the idea of sacrificing something else when we have given up so much in the last 12 months. So this year, my challenge to you is to take something up. Let's do something new for Lent. So I invite you to join with me, and our goal is to read the entire New Testament over the 40 days of Lent. I've got some description in the description below. I've got some lists about what passages to read on what days, a couple of options, a lighter option if you just want to read the 4 Gospels in Lent. And of course, you're more than welcome to try to read the whole Bible in Lent. Kudos to you. It's really not that much. There's 260 chapters in the New Testament. It's about 7 chapters a day. It'll only take you about 30 minutes. That's 30 minutes a day. You can do that each day, once a day. Pick a time to do it. Or you can do meal times. Just read, 10, 15 minutes at each meal time. So will you join with me as we try to read through the whole New Testament this year in Lent?